Right, hi everybody. Back again for another episode of Neurodivergent Nook. I'm Helen, an autistic ADHD therapist, and I've got Diane with me again.
Hello.
And she is...
I am. Procrastinating at my name there. Hi, I'm Diane, previous head teacher and teacher in Senko, and I am currently a foster carer and also a coach and a tutor to neurodivergent teenagers, and I have autism and ADHD myself.
Okay, so we are back and we are actually going to be talking about something that's very close to my heart, even though it annoys the hell out of my heart at the same time, and that's procrastination, or why do I find it so blooming difficult to start stuff?
Indeed, why?
Just a small example. I've had a really big task that I know I've needed to do for about a month, and I've been putting it off. It requires a lot of thought, and a lot of planning, and I think that there are a number of things at play for me. There's the overwhelm of the task because I know it's going to be tough.
Yes.
There's the trying to get that kind of hit, the dopamine hit, to motivate myself to start it. And also it's breaking it down because, it feels like there's lots and lots of steps, and I don't know where to start, so I don't start. Not ever, but until the deadline is virtually like upon me, and then I've suddenly got that little adrenaline rush which pushes up that motivation reward system, and the urgency kicks in and I go, oh look, I can do it now.
and why do we need that adrenaline kick at the right near the end of something to and that gentle pressure that we start feeling? Why is it that it always requires that near the end? It's because it's going to come, don't you? But it doesn't. Even that doesn't motivate you to start sooner. It's that weird feeling of that having the pressure to get something done. It's strange, but it works, doesn't it? It works.
It does, and I think I've learnt that this is it's something that I, obviously, it's always been, some people say, well, if you create your own deadlines, that doesn't work for me because I know I've created that deadline and it doesn't actually kick in that adrenaline. And that's absolutely fair. I think it's that need for, because of the executive function differences, and the differences within that motivation and reward loop, that dopamine is such an important part. It is that chemical, isn't it? It's the motivation that gets us going, and the push of adrenaline helps with that.
If you looked in my diary, right, this is how much I've realised I put things off. So, for example, on a, I don't know, Friday or Sunday or whatever, I might, write in my diary what I'm going to do. And I'm old school, I like a pen and paper diary. And I simply just write the same list at each evening for the next day. And obviously I do get through some of the tasks or some of the things I've set myself to do, because some do get ticked off. But invariably that list is unrealistic, unachievable, and then if it carries on over into the next week, then I'm really down on myself. I don't get that adrenaline kind of rush from doing any of those, I suppose, kind of tasks, life admin and whatever. But I would agree with work-based stuff. I would get that kind of adrenaline rush, and not just meeting the deadline. But in my personal life, and then I get super stressed if I've had a busy couple of weeks and not a lot has been ticked off. Like I need to get my car fixed, and every day it's at the bottom of that list, because it's okay and it's safe to drive. So I'm just not doing it, and I will do it when it breaks down, and it gets towed away and I've got to pay for a hire car, that's when it will get done, and I know that.
Yeah. And does see what I'm thinking here, is that a frustration for you, or have you accepted that that's okay, or are you not quite there yet? Because that's very much okay, that is me.
Yeah, I think to a certain extent.
And I'm accepting that is me, but it still frustrates me about me. That's what I'm kind of hearing.
I think a bit of both, isn't it? And you know, my husband and I call it the ADHD tax, that we end up spending so much more money in life because of things like that. You know, that we procrastinate and put it off. Yeah, that's not good. That's not a good, you know, way of spending your money, is it? But at the same time, I don't feel like I could fit any more in the day as well.
and I guess that speaks to the other side of sort of the task, I suppose, priorities for ADHD.
Yeah.
If it interests me,
yes,
I will be much more inclined to do it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't interest me, like fixing my car, which is as dull as dishwater, or doing the paperwork, or whatever it is, then I'm just not going to do it.
Not going to do it. Absolutely. And you know, I would quite happily do any other job, you know, than what's on my list. Are you like that? I will quite happily get distracted by, you know, somebody says, "Oh, can you take me here?"
So I think I've spoken to you about this before, that I don't do lists.
Oh yes, that's right. You don't do lists.
I don't do lists because they're a demand and there's such a pressure that I was actually finding they became more overwhelming, and I was procrastinating all of the things on my list with other things that were more interesting. So I've kind of learned that actually lists don't really work.
So is it all in your head?
What I tend to do is that this is the thing that I need to get done today.
Okay.
So it's a simple, manageable task
that
I will, in my head, tick off.
But where are all the other things that you know you need to do if you haven't got a list?
They're all in my head.
They're all in your head.
They're all in my head. And also they're in conversations with my partner as well.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm really lucky that I have a very supportive partner, and I think that makes a huge difference to my ability to remember some of the things that are in my head that get dropped further down and get procrastinated on.
Because
I will do things for him, and I think that this is the other thing, isn't it? It's like the body doubling thing.
I need that so much.
So I will do stuff if there's somebody else there in the room, but also I will do things that aren't particularly interesting for another person in my life. Whether it's my son, my daughter, my partner, my brother, you know, my family generally.
That's absolutely fine.
Then it's actually when it's just for me that it becomes really quite difficult.
And and you know, and even if you've got, you know, kind of self-worth and you're self-compassionate, you know, and all of those things, and you know that you're important, they just seem like tasks, don't they? They do.
Well, they're just boring, isn't it?
Pardon
it. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but they are just really boring.
And I think, you know, you touch on the thing about steps, like our dishwasher broke about 3 or 4 months ago, and there's 6 of us in the house, so there's a lot of washing up. And because our dishwasher broke, the next thing to do is contact them to get the voucher that they've got for us, then use a company that they want us to use the voucher for to buy the dishwasher, and then arrange for it to be installed. I haven't done any of that in 4 or 5 months. That'll probably take half an hour, 40 minutes of a couple of calls. That to me feels like the biggest job in the world. And you know, my teenagers, when are you going to get the dishwasher fixed? I was like, well, you go and do the emails, you go and make the calls, and none of them have either. But But
it feels so, and it is for us and that's maybe something about that. You know, you say it feels like it's a small task, but it isn't.
No, it's 3 big tasks
because
in my head.
Exactly, and also those. If you break them down into smaller steps, there's a number of different things that need to be done.
Yes.
And you know, you might someone might suddenly say, but it's just phoning that, but it ultimately it isn't that.
Well, especially when I don't like speaking on the phone.
Yeah. and that has an impact as well.
I will go to all costs, as my family and friends know, and I drive my friends insane. I will go, to all costs to avoid talking on the phone if I can. Yeah.
Can you email someone?
Yeah. I'm hoping it can all be done by that when I finally sit down to do it.
Get down to doing
Avoiding actually talking to a human in real life.
But all of those things, they play into that feeling of overwhelm about the task, which makes the task so much harder to do.
I'll give you another example. I said to my son, today I've got to pay the Dartford charge, because I'd been through the Dartford tunnel the day before. And I was trying to get all my jobs done, and I said to him, look, do you mind just doing this for me? Here's my card details, just pay the Dartford charge for me. And I thought, that's one less thing on my list. Anyway, he invariably forgot to do it. And then later on I said to him, don't worry, I'll do it for you. And I did it in 2 minutes because I was doing it for him, even though it was originally my task. I mean, that's insanity.
It's actually a blooming creative way of actually getting you to do the task. I think that's quite commendable, actually.
So maybe,
So maybe. You gave it to him and then took it back.
And I was, pleased that I'd helped him out.
and actually, you were helping yourself out ultimately. So
solved procrastination for you all.
But no, that one of the things that I will do, I gamify things.
Right.
I absolutely hate doing like chores or and they're dull. They're really dull.
Yeah.
I will reward myself. It's not gamifying. I'll say, I'll do this in the next 10 minutes.
Yes.
And then I can do this.
Yeah.
And that's the positive thing I can do. But if I'm saying, there's a little game here, I've got to get it done in the next 10 minutes. And it might only be a really quick reply to an email that I've been putting off for 2 weeks.
Yes.
One of the things I really like doing is going to work in a coffee shop. Treat myself to a bit of a trip out.
Yeah.
But
and it's
that actually
quick
makes
reward
a difference.
as well.
That's a reward.
Yeah. Because the rewards need to be kind of quite quick, don't they, for us, neurodivergent people as well. I think that to keep that motivation going.
I love Rich and Rock's, which you probably watched, the ADHD Love. And they were talking about unpacking suitcases, and that is my worst. It's like when I've been away, it'll sit there in the corner
forever.
And people get really annoyed about the fact that they're tripping over my suitcase. So the last time I went away, I put all of my tech stuff at the bottom of the suitcase.
Right.
So I did actually. What I do is I take the energy from having just come back and being a little bit because I've really enjoyed my time away. And empty the suitcase because all of my techie stuff is at the bottom.
Very good.
But that works for me.
Does it end up on the floor though?
See, that's the point. That works for me, but that might be because of the mix of traits that I've got. But for a few others, it wouldn't, because all that would happen is you'd lift it all out and shove it next to the suitcase and pull out the stuff. So this is why it's such a personal thing. My particular presentation of procrastination, but it doesn't work for everybody.
It doesn't. No. You reminded me, actually. I went to a festival 2.5 weeks ago, and my box of clean clothes was still sitting next to my bed. But my husband had the biggest pile of clean clothes to put away at the weekend I've ever seen in 22 years of being with him. I mean, it was literally nearly at the ceiling. It was, you just walked past it and half of it fell down. But I said to him, I need you to put your stuff away before I can start doing mine, because the bedroom felt so messy and so overwhelming that I couldn't focus on my much smaller pile. I had to wait for his procrastination to stop before I could start on mine.
Before you could start yours.
Yeah.
And did it help him when you asked him to do it for you? Did it help him?
No, he paid a teenager to do it instead at the end.
Well, there you go. So that's a creative way of working it out, isn't it?
It is.
And actually, does it matter if my suitcase doesn't get... in the big scheme of things.
No, it really doesn't.
But obviously the inner voice is saying, you're lazy. Or whatever it is saying.
Yeah.
And actually that's that self-compassion that we've talked about before. That no, you're not. You're wired differently. It's a different way of being, and it's just a suitcase.
It's just a suitcase, isn't it? That's all it is.
That is all it is.
Yeah.
And all of the other messaging, you don't necessarily have to hear that, though it's understandable that you do.
Yeah. Wow.
You still get those messages, even if they're not explicit, I think is the word I'm saying. And I think I've talked about that before, about what people say and what we hear.
Yeah.
And that's the same.
Can be miles apart, can't they?
With procrastination.
My mantra, isn't it? Just be a bit kind to yourself, isn't it? And don't worry if you don't get all those things done on that list or that list in your head.
And it can be really hard to do the tasks because you're also very focused on that this is certainly if you're autistic ADHD, you're very monotropic, one focused task, and actually to then move from that to another task. That explains that procrastination too.
Completely.
So task switching, I can't even speak. Task switching is really hard, and that is another reason why the procrastination happens.
Yes.
Because you're drawn into something else.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to shift that momentum.
And like you said, it doesn't make it right or wrong, does it? It's just the way we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is one of the learnings that we have is that just because it's different doesn't mean it's less or wrong.
Yeah. And I think that, we've got there with children in schools, haven't we, mostly, that children are being taught that, that it's okay to, have these differences. I think it's us adults that are learning more about ourselves in later life, isn't it, that are finally, beginning to be kind to themselves, aren't they?
Yeah. Someone talks about, comparison being the thief of joy. And I kind of feel that that's the same about procrastination. It literally, you can beat yourself up so much because I know I need to do this and I'm not doing it. What's wrong with me? And that really does. It has it's that weight on you, and it is about trying different things that work for you.
Yeah, completely. Otherwise you risk, aren't you, every day just feeling a day of demands, and not having that,
space,
that time and space.
We always talk about self-compassion, but if there was one thing maybe, and I'll come to you in a minute, that I think it's really important to understand about procrastination is it's not something we're deliberately putting off. It's not because we're lazy or incapable. It's because we need a different approach. And it's okay to find what approach works for you if it's something that you really, really need to do. And, if that is a little bit unconventional, so what?
Just to add to that, I keep thinking of all the different children's reports I've seen over the years, for children, young people with ADHD, and one of their improvement comments are, start tasks promptly. I can see that literally now glaring at me. For a child, a young person with autism or ADHD or dyslexia or whatever it might be, that's literally just asking almost the impossible, isn't it?
But it's asking someone to see something without glasses. If they struggle. It's part of the disability, isn't it?
And I do challenge that, when I'm supporting parents and things. I just did that in a report the other day. 3 improvements were all ADHD based, and so I turned it around and said, how are you going to support that child then, rather than that being his things that he needs to improve on.
And what scaffolding can a school put in place for something like that?
It's having adults aware. That's the first thing, isn't it? And the teaching assistants aware, and doing just things, knowing that child and how long it might take them to process that information, and then motivate themselves to do it. And that doesn't mean that they have to be behind. It just might mean that the timing and expectations in a lesson of what they achieve is different. It's Yeah.
So personalising it.
Personalising it, absolutely, and not just having that blanket approach. I keep on trying to fight those ones.
Yeah, and I think that's that's the importance, isn't it? We have to keep going and keep shouting about this.
Yeah.
That the procrastination is and difficulties in initialising tasks.
Yeah.
That is an executive function challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it needs understanding, acceptance, and different kinds of strategies and scaffolding.
Absolutely, and that doesn't work well in the classroom, does it? In addition to that, teachers got pressure to get X, Y, and Z taught and done. But there's those 2 or 3 neurodivergent children sitting there that can't quite start just yet.
I think we'll end there with the hope.
Yes.
That we will keep pushing this and
always.
Highlighting the difference and moving in with the supports where we can.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for coming, Diane.
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll join us again. Do check out our other podcasts.
Yes, please.
And if you want us to cover something, then give us a shout as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'd love to do that.
Thanks very much, and we'll speak to you all again soon. Bye.
Thank you.